Welcome to our Saturday morning live meditation for the GCDC. I'm Marla Goldberg, and I'm here with my colleague, Mike Cavalli, and our guest, Lisa Salvatore.
Hello.
So I hope everybody is doing amazing on this beautiful Saturday, which tonight is what, Lisa?
Actually, the full moon peaked at 3:17 a.m. today. So it's the full moon. We're under full moon energy.
Oh,
And
so let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's actually a great day to do a meditation. As well, every day is a great day to do a meditation, but the full moon is all about release, cleansing and releasing all that has built up and is no longer serving our soul. And it's a great time to do rituals around this time. So I thought it would be a great way to incorporate that into the meditation.
Brilliant.
I think that's great.
Yeah, super.
And let's talk about, because this is when full moons are great for releasing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time to release, where new moons are the time to set intentions to manifest.
So yes, the moon cycle is 29 and a half days, and the new moon is when you begin to plant your seeds, your crops. Like back in the old days, the farmers lived by the moon cycles about, bearing fruit and all of that. So when you get to the full moon, it's a time of built up. And even if you think about, take the scientific explanation out of it for a moment, the full moons really do, they illuminate everything. They heighten our awareness, our emotions. And so at this point of the lunar cycle, we're feeling like a little more on edge, for better or worse. We can feel more buzzy. And depending on the planets at that time with the full moon and the sign that the full moon is in, it affects us all very differently. So today, the full moon is in Virgo, which is the sign of tidiness, order, structure. It's all about the physical body and cleansing. That's Virgo. And then the opposite sign of Pisces, which is where the sun is right now, because when we have a full moon, the sun is opposite the moon. And the moon is being actually illuminated by the light of the sun at this time. So that's why at night during full moon, it's beautiful. You can see everything is illuminated. So think about what that does to your emotions, because the moon is water. It governs the gravitational pull of the tides. So think about what that does to our physical bodies. We can get more bloated at this time. We can feel just everything kicking up. And it was kind of funny because yesterday my brother called me and he said to me, I have a question for you about this crazy full moon. Can it make my teeth hurt? And I started laughing and I said, actually, it can, because if you have anything going on in your body, even tiny, let's say you have stomach upset around a full moon, parasites have been known to kick up. Everything gets exacerbated. So it's quite interesting. So you may find, if you track the full moon and track your own birth chart, which is a totally separate podcast for another day, you can definitely see parallels and how it works for your physical body. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. And some of the sorry, Mark, the old folk that I knew, when they used to make their own wine, they would transfer it into the other barrels at certain times according to where the moon is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually a guy who wrote a book called In Tune with the Moon, and he would germinate seeds and he would harvest and he would mulch according to moon cycles to get the best possible harvest and quality imaginable. So there is a lot in there. I felt very tired this week. Has this anything to do with it?
Absolutely. Sleep definitely gets affected. A lot of people have insomnia around the time of the full moon, a couple of days before, even leading up to a week. And then after. Go ahead, Marla.
Go ahead. I wanted you to finish your comment, and then I have a question for you.
Sure.
From one of our watchers.
Sleep definitely gets affected. Absolutely.
Right. Good.
So we have a question about, what about when with Mercury coming out of retrograde in a full moon, how does that affect people?
Well, so Mercury technically has stationed direct on the 20th of February, but we're still under the post-shadow phase until the 13th of March. But this particular Mercury retrograde, it was in Aquarius. So where we experience that the most is through technology. So you're seeing a lot of computers and emails and text messages and all of that kind of, cracking down. I know a couple of times my Zoom just wouldn't work. That's never happened. My cell phone would just shut off randomly. So how it affects with the full moon, I definitely feel like the full moon kicks up the Mercury trickster aspects, which could make things just pay a little extra attention and it should be fine.
Yeah.
This particular moon though, moon cycle, this lunation is not too, it's actually pretty, it's not really doing anything funky with Mercury, so we're kind of okay. It's trining Uranus, which makes us really, it's supportive of change, because Uranus is all about change. So this is a time of processing, mentally processing the changes that we've been wanting to make and maybe feeling stuck or like we can't do it. Uranus, because it's a trine, which is a helpful aspect, actually gives you that feeling of, all right, this seems like something I can really do right now. And it may be a little wacky and off the wall, but it's something that you need to do on the soul level. I'm sorry, Marla, go ahead. You look like
No, you're fine. I'm nodding. I'm following. I'm into this.
Yeah. And also because it's Virgo and Virgo Pisces, Sun in Pisces, Moon in Virgo, it's about the spiritual body, which is Pisces, and
Yes.
then Virgo is the physical. So it's about integrating these two to the way that it works for you and having them work in harmony so that you can be more clear. Because the moon is the subconscious, it's the internal process in all of us. And that's why we get so emotional around full moons, and the intuition really kicks up because it's helping us to heal and feel. That's how I look at the full moon.
Which is amazing. How does it affect pets?
Pets get really wonky around full moons. And actually, during even just not the full moon, but during a lot of wacky planetary aspects that have been happening lately, the animals act out and act up. You can see it. I think they feel, I mean, think about lunacy, the word, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. So they just get a little more on edge and jumpy, and animals sense way more and way before us humans do. So they're already aware of that energy before we even sense it.
Right.
And what about if you're a Virgo? Does it affect you more if you're of the sign?
So that depends. I mean, particularly with this full moon, I would say any of the mutable signs, which are Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Gemini. And if you have any of your major planets in those signs, you will be feeling that energy a lot. And if you have a Virgo moon or a Virgo ascendant, or your sun in Virgo or Pisces, the opposite way, then you will definitely be feeling this full moon.
Well,
Okay.
I'm a Sag. I've been feeling things.
I'm a Pisces moon and I've got a lot of Virgo in my chart. So I've been very edgy. I've noticed it for me, like an edginess,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so.
Well, you know,
And-
sorry, Mark, this might explain how everyone here in Austria was getting used to the idea of wearing masks going into supermarkets and places. And the last 2 days, I've noticed that people have been really agitated. If you wasn't at that distance that the government said 1.5 million, they were like, you know, step back, step back. And I thought we'd gone past that. But the last few days, people have, I guess, because of the moon, and they're sensitive, that this, I don't know, they're picking up this kind of energy. Maybe this might disperse a little bit as we move along. Would the moon affect people like that, or is this just coincidence?
It's not coincidence. The moon
Right.
does affect people like that, absolutely. And you can even notice with driving, people are much more aggressive or not paying as much attention. And also just a sidebar, we're under another energy of all year long of Saturn squaring Uranus, which does also kick up accidents. So we need to be more mindful. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. You just want to be more mindful when you're driving, because not everybody else is. So the more consciously aware you are of yourself and what you're doing,
Your surroundings.
exactly, it can mitigate any of that.
Well, I will tell you, my niece, I was on the phone with her, and she lives in the city of Chicago. And I'll tell you, between her horn honking,
Oh yeah,
because of the driving, it was like, oh my God,
I know.
amazing, absolutely amazing. I think that's all the questions we have, but which is good, because this is the first time we've had questions for our meditation. So I'm very excited, and I welcome more.
Yeah.
Would you like me to address something they can do for the full moon after the meditation, or do you want me to tell them now?
Let's do it after, so that there's
Yeah.
something for them to hang on to.
Okay.
Little teaser. All right, so we're going to start a meditation. Do you like this music? I hope.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. This is Lisa Salvatore guiding us on today's meditation.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so just everybody get comfortable, lean back, lay down, whatever's more comfortable with where you are right now. And just tune into your surroundings. Take notice of any noises that you're hearing and begin to settle into your breath. And inhale and exhale at the same count. Let's say 4 today. So we're going to inhale for 4. And then we're going to hold the breath for 4. And then exhale for 4. And really give a good cleansing breath. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. And exhale for 4. Just do that 2 more times on your own count. In for 4. And last one. And now I'm going to take you through the chakra system, which are the 7 energy centers of the body where life force energy moves through, otherwise known as prana. When any of these energy centers can be overbalanced or underbalanced, we can experience physical discomfort and emotional disturbances. So I'm going to take you through each one, and we're going to put the energy into these chakras and then release what is not working to reconnect us to source love. So start at the root chakra, which is right at the base of your spine, and envision the vibrant color red surrounding this area, back to front and all the way through. This is the chakra where we have our sense of security and safety, and this is security and safety of physical, spiritual, emotional, and financial. Breathe into this chakra, filling it with nourishment and red light. Just sit here for a moment and allow your root to take in all of the energy that it needs. Take another deep healing breath and move your energy up to right below the navel, which is the sacral chakra. Fill this chakra with the bright color orange. This is our chakra of pleasure and creativity. Sit here in this moment, allowing the orange light to blend throughout, infusing you with confidence to create all that it is that you were brought in this world to do. Now we're going to breathe in and move up to right below the chest, below the breastbone. This is our solar plexus chakra. This is our seat of personal power and self-esteem. Envision the color yellow swirling through this area, infusing you with your own personal strength to be the best that you can be out in the world. Take a few deep breaths here. Now allow your awareness to shift up to the center of your chest, which is the heart chakra. Envision the vibrant color green swirling through this area. Sometimes you see pink here, completely normal. Allow the colors to blend as you fill your heart with unconditional love. This is the chakra of love for self and love for others. Allow your heart chakra to take in all that it needs. Take another deep breath and move up to the center of your throat. This is the throat chakra. This is the chakra of oneness and communication. It is how we express ourselves. It is where we keep our truth, sometimes unspoken. Allow the vibrant color blue to swirl around through this area. Allow it to clear your throat, getting you ready to express yourself in all of your oneness. You may actually even feel the urge to clear your throat, completely normal. Now shift your awareness to the center of your forehead in between your eyebrows. This is the third eye chakra. Envision the color of purple swirling through this area. This is the seat of our foresight and our intuition. Sometimes when overloaded with energy, we can feel very foggy here. So we're just going to sit here for a moment to reduce any clarity and confusion that you may be experiencing that could potentially be blocking your higher guidance. Now take another deep breath and move your awareness to the top of your head. This is the crown chakra. Envision a white light beaming up and out. This will reconnect you to source, divine love, and guidance, opening you up to receive information from the higher realms. Sit here for a moment, allowing the white light of love to permeate throughout. Take another few deep cleansing breaths. As you come back into your body, acknowledge yourself for the beautiful being that you are, releasing all that no longer serves you, allowing what you desire to come to you more easily. For we are all manifesting machines. As you come back into your body, you may experience different sensations as any excess energy should be moving on out. And whenever you're ready, you just open your eyes.
Ooh, that was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you experience anything?
Oh my God, at each chakra, I just felt activation. It was, yeah, it was great.
Yeah. I was moving in and out of consciousness. So I missed a couple of chakras.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure the ones that needed the most attention were the ones
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
And even if you go out of consciousness, you still receive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
actually,
I had one of those experiences where, you know, when you're asleep and you come back in your body and you jump back in. I had one of them there in the meditation.
oh wow,
So,
okay.
so yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome. I just was going to say that I do have a similar meditation for free on my website. It pops up on the drop down menu when you go to the website.
And the website is,
lisasalvatore.com.
there you go.
It's a good little recharge. You can do it twice a day. You can do it once a week, whatever you feel.
Yeah.
And it's short, which many people don't have
Yes.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
And are they able to, when they activate the chakras, are they able to, let's say, cleanse other things or move other things in, out, or bring things in as they're activating the chakras?
Oh, absolutely. Because a lot of times we don't realize when we feel blocked or restricted in a specific area, it could be energetic. That's the reason why, if there's no medical basis, of course, there could be an energetic component as to why we're feeling a certain way. And once you start to do things to move the energy, you'll feel it open up.
Yeah.
The sacral is one of the biggest because it's our creative life force energy. It's our sexual energy. So if that's not working, if that's unaligned at a particular point, which it is for everybody at all different times, you could feel blocked creatively. You may not be able to write for weeks on end. You just have that block. And I always tell everyone, when you feel that way, dance. Doesn't matter, just move, because you want to, and drinking water is so important. I'm constantly saying that because it just moves everything.
And singing works, doesn't it? Singing works as well?
Singing works, that's great. I don't really like my voice, so I don't sing, but I will, be silly and just blast the music. And yeah, hula hooping is a great one also.
Oh.
Hula actually means to move energy. So it's pretty interesting.
So that's the hula dances in Hawaii.
Right.
Same
Well,
meaning.
yeah, exactly. It's moving the energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So how do you work with chakras and pain?
And pain, you said?
Yes.
Well, I always tell everybody, you always want to make sure that you don't have a medical situation going on. Just don't assume it's energetic, right? That's the first piece. But provided that you know that you're okay medically. So sometimes, well, if you want to look at the root, for example, the root chakra, which is the first chakra, which is the base of your spine, when that one gets imbalanced or over, if it's overbalanced or under, you experience the same type of symptoms, which can be, lower back pain. I know that's a big one. Cramping, abdominal cramping, digestive disturbances. So what you can do for that is you can eat root vegetables, sweet potatoes, beets, carrots, anything that grows out of the ground. Because you think about it, that roots you, they come from the roots of the earth. So that could help. Eating more for the season helps with that. And just honoring where you're in at the moment also helps. It's hard to do that. We tend to always, as humans, we're thinking ahead, and that's what gives us our anxiety. So it's more about just being in that moment and just allowing yourself to really accept where you are. And let's say you're having financial troubles. Okay, that's a reality, but knowing that it's a cycle and it won't last forever can kind of help you to come out of that. Well, I always tell everybody.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
Do you want me to go through? Do you want me to talk about each chakra, or did you want to just do it as like a basic question?
It's a basic question.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the health of the chakras. You can Google if you'd like to find all different ways that you can balance them yourself, but you'd want to make sure it resonates for you. You're not going to resonate with what everyone else says to do, and that's perfectly fine.
And you have to sort of follow your gut instinct as well, don't
Yes,
you? I mean,
absolutely.
again, as you're saying, that what might work for Mike won't work for me necessarily. It might not, but then I might get a hit that says, take an Epsom salt bath and it might help, whatever, I'm just pulling it out of the air.
No, it's
But
true.
that can help.
That's also very cleansing, an Epsom salt bath. That's a great ritual for a full moon night. Take a nice cleansing bath, just to.
I love it with candlelight. When I used to be able to drink wine, I'd have a glass of wine with me and candlelight, put my little, whatever I put in the bathwater music, and just sit in the glow. Well, it's hard to read with just candlelight, but
True.
but you just sort of like sink in and just go, oh, especially like when Phantom of the Opera came out, I used to love the Phantom of the Opera. And for some reason, I would just put that on with my, wine, with my candles, and I would just like, Calgon, take me away.
And dark chocolate, that's a good one for grounding also.
It's a very good one for,
Mhm.
I mean, isn't it great? We can eat chocolate because
Yes.
it
Grounding.
yeah, it has purpose more than it makes you feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
That'll be my excuse. I've got to ground myself, so I've got to eat dark chocolate.
There you go. Let's work.
Yeah.
I usually have some in my drawer next to my, in my desk. It's just so when I feel myself getting a little bit wonky, I'll have a couple of pieces, little squares of it, and I get
back in the game.
again.
Yeah. Well, pre-pandemic, I used to have the full moon, my full moon circles outside and an outdoor space. And we would get together and I would always start off with raisins and dark chocolate just to kind of get it. Well, now you can't be passing around, can't even really do it in person, but you also don't want to be passing around the food and touching it. But that was always a nice little way to kind of get into the zone.
But we have individually wrapped chocolates.
Yes, we
people
do.
can take.
I do
You
miss
know?
the face-to-face contact though.
I
have to
know
say.
but look at it's coming together soon.
It is.
The numbers have gone down significantly and, I mean, things are opening up. I know here in North Carolina, the bars are open now to 11 and you can sit inside. So
That's
because
good.
of all the, what's going on,
Yep. Yeah.
numbers are down. So that's a beautiful thing. Pretty soon we'll actually be able to feel comfortable in each other's presence again. Which we honest, because we need it. We
yeah.
need the energy of other people.
Mm.
And to intermingle with ours. It's just a basic human need.
I mean, at least we thankfully have Zoom, right? Because it's definitely not the same, but at
No.
least you can see each other,
Yeah.
Right. And there's no space and time with spirit, but there's no space and time and energy either.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
why you can do remote healings and it's effective. And so you can send energy to each other just through intention.
Mhm,
Yeah.
absolutely. Speaking of intention, I'd like to
Yes.
share a quick full moon ritual that anyone can do by themselves or with others. I usually do them in little groups, but you light some candles, turn down the lights. If it's nice where you are and clear outside and not too cold, you can go outside and sit under the light of the full moon. And just so you know, full moon rituals can be done like on up to the third night after the full moon. They're still potent, but the first and
Oh.
second are obviously the most potent. But get outside, bring your journal, piece of paper, and just sit out there and just, be grateful, give gratitude for what it is that you have, and then lovingly release what is not working for you. And with full moons, I like to burn my intentions out to the universe. New moons, I don't. But full moons, I like to burn them to release. And I keep what I bring in on a separate paper so that I don't burn that. And then you just say love and gratitude, a prayer. If you're into oracle cards or anything like that, you can pull one for that cycle and see where you're at and then revisit that at the next full moon.
That's a great ritual. I love that.
Yeah.
And then you can go howl at the moon as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's many more things you can do, but that for simplicity, that's an easy way to work
And
with
now
the
that
energy.
many of us are going into spring, I know that in the United States, the Midwest is still being affected, but some people like being out in the cold.
Mhm.
Not below zero, but
Right.
reasonable cold, where they can bundle up and sit out there and do their ritual of journaling, setting intentions, releasing things,
Yeah.
and burning the release.
And for anyone that's an astrology lover or just wants to learn more about their own chart, you can pull it up for free on a site like astro.com, and you can actually look at the date, today's date, and see where that moon is illuminating your personal chart, because it's going to be different for everybody. So depending on the house that it falls in, that area of your life is being illuminated by this energy. So you can see how it could make you feel more sensitized. It's interesting.
So I want everybody to know that Lisa is such a master astrologer
Oh,
that
Absolutely.
if you're interested in having your astrology chart done, go to Lisa. I've had a session with Lisa and she's amazing
Thank you,
and
Marla.
so accurate. So personal testimony on video in front of people. So
Thank you.
I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Thank
Lisa,
you.
I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
Is the actual time of birth essential when giving doing a chart?
Yes, to me, because yes, to most astrologers, but if you're off by a couple of minutes, it's not the end all be all. However, the exact minute is indicative of your rising sign, which actually sets the house system of your chart. So if that's not accurate, and some people think they were born at 6 a.m. and I make them, because I can tell, I'm like, you don't seem confident and your mom didn't sound confident and breakfast time doesn't suffice to me. So please get the time. And then they'll come back and say, oh my gosh, it was 11:45 p.m. I'm like, okay, that would have been a really off chart and that wouldn't have been accurate. So yes, it does matter.
Right.
And what's really interesting is that, oh, I wanted to say something when you said about the times,
Mhm.
because many people don't know their times, and the birth certificates aren't like, if you say, I don't have a birth certificate, and people go get the certificate, it's not an exact duplicate. So they don't have the time on there. So
Mine
if you
doesn't.
don't have the original one and you don't know your time, how do you find out what your time is or what you do?
So what I say to clients within that situation, and that does tend to happen, especially when they're born in another country. So I'll say to them, do you have a relative, a reliable relative that would remember? Because I only know my time because I had an aunt that actually had a pillow made. That was the first girl. So she had a pillow made with the exact stamp of my footprint with the time. My birth
Great.
certificate doesn't say my time for some reason, but thankfully I had that. And then I was able to obtain it later. But sometimes you can contact the hospital and they may give you the runaround, but if you pay, they'll actually get it for you. So I think it's just a matter of going through the channels. And then if you really can't find it, I've worked with a couple of people, not too often, where we've just kind of done it by trial and error. And I've said, okay, let's talk about this. I'm going to run a couple of different scenarios and just see how this makes you feel, if it resonates with you. Because then we can kind of go a little bit more off that. Are we closer? Are we further? So
Yeah.
and I have a really weird, it's not weird, but a really interesting ability to guess people's ascendants and moon signs accurately. So that helps too as well. So I can kind of go off that too. So that's always a good thing.
And I have to say, a lot of astrologers don't have that ability. And I know that because I've gone to a lot of astrologers. So that's a little special gift that you get.
Thank you.
You don't know your exact time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to mention, if anybody from watching today's show broadcast wants to have their chart or a session with me, just mention that they saw me here and I'll give them a discount, 20%.
How wonderful.
You can just email me.
Yeah, super
It's
duper.
like Christmas.
You
It's
may have
gift
to wait. You may
time.
have to wait a few weeks, but I will definitely get you on the schedule.
Perfect. Well, I mean, there are many people that you can't get to for years. So a few weeks is not a bad thing.
Oh no, that I would, yeah, that's most people when they're ready for a reading, they're ready for a reading. They don't want to wait, months.
3 years.
No.
Yeah, I remember there's a woman, I'm not going to mention her name, but I'd seen her, this was a zillion years ago, but I think I might have seen her on Oprah or something like that. And so I went to try to book her, 3-year waiting list,
Wow.
waiting time.
Good for
And
her.
I have
She's
to tell
busy.
you, she's busy, but at the end of the day, I will tell you that I didn't find that her session was worth waiting 3 years for.
I think there's something to that about being burnt out, maybe.
Mm.
Like if you're that popular, it's like eventually you're gonna burn out. So maybe by the time you get to, it could have just been one of those burnt out days or moments in time, or it could just be, not worth the wait, I guess. It depends on your personal experience.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because when I do readings, evidential mediumship readings, I don't like this conveyor belt reading. One comes in the reading, they go out, next one in, reading, out, next one. I don't like that. Some people they're good at that. They can do that.
Oh wow.
I don't like you because you can get burnt out very
I will-
easy doing that.
Yeah.
I will share with you that I've actually cut down to only one a day because I could not, when the mediumship really started, it didn't turn off. So if I was working with 3 people in a day at 1 hour each, by the time I got to the third person, I would be invigorated after, but then I would crash really hard. And I said, I can't do this anymore because I am no good in life at all if I'm burnt like this. So I just had to sit with myself and realize, when do I feel the best? 1 a day. That's what been trying to stick to. And sometimes I can do 2, but I try to keep it so all my energies for that, that specific
Focused.
focus.
Yeah.
It's some people, it amazes me. I don't know how people do like 6, 7, 8 a day.
I
It's
used
just
to.
overwhelming. But do your modalities, the different modalities, because you have a lot of tools in your toolbox. Do different modalities affect you different ways?
Yes, absolutely. So how do I explain?
Like, can
A
you do
lot of-
astrology more than you can do a psychic reading?
Well,
Or can
actually,
you do tarot longer?
no,
more
because
people?
I shouldn't actually, I should reframe. No, because it's the energy, and it's the energy of the client and myself that day. So if they sit down for astrology, every session's different. So I may be getting a lot of past life stuff with them. I may have a lot of their relatives that happen to want to talk to them that day. A couple of weeks ago, I had a woman who said to me, I get really spooked, so I just want the chart. I've heard that you know, do this, but I just want the chart. And I said, okay. So I was trying to shut it off, which is hard. And I started reading her, and it was all of her deceased family. And one particular person really wanted to get through to her with some apologies. And I said, I'm so sorry. I know. She goes, no, I needed this. Keep going. And I said, see, it's always what you need, you know, at that time. So it is hard to really stick to any one modality. So no, I think it's fair to say that it's equally as invigorating at times and draining at times, no matter which modality is the star of that session. So.
Yeah, it's, you know, and people, they go in because they're afraid. They come in with fear. They're afraid of what they might hear, what they might receive. And I feel that what's missed in the translation is that things are coming to you in love. If you had a difficult relationship with somebody in this lifetime in their human body, when they're on the other side, they see they have a different perspective, and they bring in the love that they didn't give, they may not have given you.
Yes.
Or the support when they were in their human body. But now they're like totally encased in love, because that's what it is when you're on the other side. And so even though the people really don't change, the way they see things and project things and share their information changes. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%. You've been in one of the galleries where that's happened, where people, they're like, I don't want to hear from this person, but that person had to tell that person that they're sorry, or that, yeah, exactly. So, so it's not, I always tell people, I heard famous medium John Edwards say this, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever heard a medium say. He said, it's not a DJ booth. I wish it were. You can't request who you want. It's just who's there that day. And that's just,
right.
That's the truth, but that's how it works. And it's always, it tends to be a lot of times the one person you're sitting there saying, please don't come through, please don't come. And then that's the person that brings through the energy. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah. I have a funny story real quick, that my maternal grandmother, bless her, I mean, she lived to be 95. So she just passed this past September. So I obviously have a very close relationship with her. And, you know, I knew her my whole life, basically, up until this point. And she knew what I did. And she would make jokes about it, but not in a condescending way, just funny. Like she'd say, oh, you're psychic. Tell me where I put that. I can't remember. Or you're psychic. And I'd say, Grandma, it doesn't work that way, you know? So when she was sick in the hospital, I went to visit her, and she wasn't really conscious. And I said to her, you better let me know when you get there. And it's hard when it's your own people, when it's your own energy, because it's not as clear, you know? Right. So for me, it usually happens in the dream state. Yeah. And I had such an amazing, vivid visitation from her. In the dream, it was via phone call. She called my iPad, and she started speaking to me through the iPad. It was like a different frequency, like how it happens when I do gallery readings. And she was speaking to me, and she was giving me information that I didn't know. It was really interesting. And now every time I do readings, I feel her like as my solitary guide. And I know she gets a kick out of what I'm doing. Like she didn't understand it that way when she was here.
Well, she's standing over your right shoulder, and she's been standing over your right shoulder.
Of course, yeah.
Throughout this. So I don't know. I mean, I can see her.
You know what's funny for me? The right side's always the maternal, and that's grandma. That's my mom's mom.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. She's been hanging on your right side. So
I feel her every day. It's so funny. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. It's amazing how that works. Well, this has been so enlightening and so informative, as well as relaxing, and the great release and cleanse. So thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone out there, check out Lisa Salvatore, lisasalvatore.com. See what she does. I know from personal experience, it's amazing. And check her out. see about booking on her because she just will give you such clear, concise information.
Thank you, Marla. Thank you, Mike.
Absolutely, yeah,
My
yeah.
pleasure. All right, so have a beautiful day. And as we always
too.
leave you, Mike, did you want to say anything? I've been talking
No,
most of the time.
it's we could go on for hours with this. One thing I would say is, you spoke about the dream and your grandmother comes through in the dream and speaking through your iPad. Well, a lot more, because I do a lot of research on this and these EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. Spirit is actually getting hold of technology.
Yes.
And being able to manipulate and use it. So, I mean, there is a fabulous guy, Robert van der Broek, just the other day. He, I'm looking at his thing, he famous for his pictures, but he said his phone started spinning. And then when it stopped, pictures of Dr. Emoto, messages from water.
Wow.
His face started coming up on the camera.
Wow.
I mean, that's a really talented guy, really gifted to have that connection. But the point was that the spirit, the veil between the two worlds is got thinner, and they're finding ways to use technology to communicate.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
We're all natural mediums, and the term medium simply means that we can meet in the middle when we raise our vibration enough to connect, and spirit lowers their vibration enough to connect with us. And that's the medium, that's the middle ground. So we're all natural mediums. So the more you raise your own personal vibration by taking care of yourself and honoring your needs, the easier it is for them to connect to us.
Yeah. And just get out of your head so you can receive the
Yes,
information.
that's not always easy to do.
No.
Move it aside. No, it's not easy. Believe me, from my experience, I'm a late bloomer here. I know you two have had it, your abilities known from a younger age.
I have the opposite, where it's like you're buzzing and you're like, okay, stop. Right? It's just, I'm sure, Marla, you're experiencing that now, that you sometimes want it to stop and it doesn't. And it's beautiful, but at the same time you're like, okay, I need to, cook dinner. Can you leave me alone? Or I need to go.
Well, I learned at an early in my education that you have to, it's like a light switch. The open sign is on. You can come in. I'm open to receiving. And then there are times where it's like, nope, closed. This is not, this is, you're not welcome here.
Right.
Because this is my time. So you need to leave.
We're done for the day.
Yeah. So I'm very clear with that. I'm open. Come to me. Get closer. Or okay, I'm sleeping now. Do not disturb my sleep, because that's very precious to me.
Me too. Absolutely.
Well, this has been amazing. I hope everyone has their great cleanse and release this full moon. And we're going to leave you, as always, by sending you love, blessings, and gratitude. Thank you for taking the time to be a part of this meditation. Tap into this meditation anytime you feel you need it. It will be on the GCDC page. Know you're loved and know how grateful we are for you being in our lives in whatever capacity it's in. So until the next time, stay well.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Lisa.
Bye.